This is the Healthology Experts, where we talk about the art and science of health and longevity. I'm Dr. Traveler, and thank you for joining us. Hey guys, today's episode is brought to you by our Healthology Experts Weight Loss Accelerator Program. It's really 5 components, really quick, we'll go through. It's the contour light, it's a device that pumps energy into the body and helps you to just be healthier and lose inches. It's our peptides, so it's the semaglutide injections. It's the STIQ scan. It's the coaching for diet and exercise, and then coaching for lifestyle. And if you look at those things, it's like something to just make you overall more healthy, make you feel better, something to help you lose the weight that you've been struggling to lose. For many people, that's a challenge. Something to track your results and really track them really well. Something to change your habits, your eating and exercise habits, and then something to change and help you have a better mindset. Okay, so with those 5 things, our Healthology Expert Weight Loss Accelerator Program has been successful for helping so many people, and we hope that if that's a challenge for you, that it can help you as well. So brought to you by that, and enjoy the episode. Hey you guys, welcome back. Dr. Traveler here, and today I am with the barbecue mortgage guy, Clark Harvey, a friend of mine, great guy. I'm so excited that he can be here, I've gotten to know Clark recently in the last few months, and as he's spoken to me, the reason why I've wanted to get him on here for a while, because we were talking, and he kind of gave me some of his health journey, which we'll get to, and I just thought, man, Clark's story I think could help so many people, and so that's why I drug him on here, and I appreciate him for coming on. So
thanks for the opportunity.
Yes. Okay, so let's start getting to know Clark a little bit, though. Why don't you tell us, Clark, first a little bit about like you and your family. Tell me any pertinent information you'd like to share to get to know you.
Yeah, you bet. So, born and raised in Southern California, moved to Utah while I was in high school back in 1980, and the economy was struggling a little bit, so my dad had to make some changes and moved up to Utah, and lived there 3 years, and married shortly after that, 22 or so, and raised 6 kids. They're all grown. My youngest, they're all married except for my youngest now. I have 3 bonus children, my wife, as I like to call them, and there are 3 daughters as well. So we have bookend boys. So we have none of them grew up together, but there's 7 girls in the middle, so 9 total.
No, I was gonna say, so that's 9 total.
With, we just found out, grandbabies number 12, 13, 14, and 15 are coming October and December.
Wow.
4 more grandbabies, we'll have 15 total.
So you're getting quite a collection going here then.
And we're just getting started apparently, so.
That's what's gonna keep him young though, right?
Christmas is fairly expensive.
Well, sounds like fun expensive.
It is fun. It is a lot of fun.
Well, good. And like I said, I know him because when I first met him, I know him as the barbecue mortgage guy. He's been doing that. You've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah,
right?
25 years, mortgage loan originator. Yeah, we do our thing. We do obviously residential lending, but we also do business loans and commercial loans in all 50 states, SBA and all that stuff. So we're not just your typical lender.
Yeah, and been very impressed with Clark, just in all aspects, personally, from family. He has, I've had some of his barbecue. It was amazing. So we can kind of hit on some of that too, because you might think, here we are talking about health and we got the barbecue guy, but he's figured out a lot of ways to...
healthy spin to barbecue.
Healthy spin. I like that. Well, let's jump right into that then. Clark, unless is anything else to get to know you that you think is pertinent information? I mean, I know that's like the tip of the iceberg, but
just Google me.
You'll find lots of information.
Just Clark's, the good stuff.
He's a great guy.
Still on it.
So, and Siri's listening.
My watch just wanted.
There we go. Watch wants to listen. Okay, so let's go through kind of his health journey, we'll say, because Clark has had some health experiences that. Well, I'll let you explain it. Why don't you kind of tell us? Start from, I don't know, where you think it's pertinent information. Where he kind of says, "I thought I was healthy, and then discovered
that I wasn't.
Yeah, not so much. So why don't you give us the
Yeah, so this is about 3.5 years ago now. And in July, we were out camping with a friend of ours, my wife and I, and her son and his girlfriend. And, you know, I had to go to the bathroom quite a bit that night, and it's a lot. And I didn't put two and two together. My friend, she was like, Clark, you need to start taking better care of yourself. And that was at my heaviest point at that point, and in my life. And then September 4th, my wife had come back grocery shopping. She was going to have a surgery the next morning, which she needed a driver to take her there. Apparently I had had a stroke, you know, that night. It wasn't detectable per se. She's like, you know, I thought you had a stroke. And unfortunately, you know, my cup fell out of my hand, and I was unfortunately drooling on this left side. It affected my left side. So the stroke was on my right side, effects of reasoning and emotions. So fast forward a little bit, I take her to her surgery, dress and everything, and I'm not sure how things are. I didn't know I had a stroke.
Yeah.
I just got up, and you would not know. You know, if you're looking at me, have had a stroke. But I will say it does, you know, affect some of my ability to think quickly that I used to have.
Yeah, the reasoning.
Yeah, and so I have to kind of slow down. Anyway, so about a month passes. We actually do an MRI. It does find out we do have a stroke. But even before that, this was a Thursday. My wife said on Sunday, hey, either I'm going to call the ambulance or I'm going to take you to the ER, find out what's going on. So we opted for the drive down there. And she just had breast explant surgery, so she shouldn't be driving. It was an interesting time, let's put it that way. I won't say what really happened, but anyway. I don't know if I can use the language on here.
Yes, that's right. Let's just say he made it to the hospital then.
So they confirmed there at the hospital that I was type 2 diabetes. My A1C was 11.1, and I said, what's an A1C? I was that uneducated, even though my father 25 years later, or prior to that, had type 2 diabetes, but I just didn't connect the dots. So, long story short, they said you're type 2 diabetic. Went to my regular doctor. I've known for like 25 years, since 96. A good guy, but just your typical medicine doctor. And he said, here's your insulin and your prescription for metformin, and here's a pamphlet on carbs, and basically, good luck.
That was it.
That was it. And so my wife is like, awesome, so we're going to have to take metformin and insulin the rest of your life. And that's what I thought too, until we saw this lunch at this group, which was backed by our chiropractor, which I did not know Justin at that time. We were up in Salt Lake area.
Yeah, this was up north.
Yeah. And so we had a free lunch there, and they said, we can reverse that through diet. I said, what do I have to lose? Other than, you know, some bad health decisions that I was doing. And so we made an appointment with her, and she said, this is what we can do. She told me how much it was. And I had to flash through all my kids that were not married at the time and grandkids that I haven't seen yet to make a decision of I want to be here for them.
Yeah.
And it was $7,000 for a program.
It was an investment.
It was an investment in my health, and it was worth every penny.
Awesome.
This is the part where I might get a little emotional, but long story short, she put me on this program. She did all the tests, find out what was causing the inflammation, got the test results back, and I've kept all those test results as we move forward. Long story short, she said, okay, you're allergic to this, stay away from gluten, okay, you're not allergic to that, obviously cut the sugar out, so I cut dairy out, gluten for the most part, and then sugar, and she put me through this series of cleanse. I purge what she also wanted to find out if we had worms and, you know, the whole thing, right?
Yeah,
Let's find out what's really causing it. So she pinpointed it, and I thought I was eating healthy, because I was actually, but there was the ice cream and the sugar in there and the cream that was killing me. And so that's I guess the lie I didn't know I was living.
Yeah.
You know, until I found out for me. And ever since then, I've been an advocate of clean eating. And she drew a circle, and I said, what do I do? she gave me two, blue and a red. It's like a blue and red pill kind of thing, but it's called the Last Diet.
Okay.
One's blue and one's red or green, and so there's tons of great recipes on there that people have asked me, is it keto that I'm doing? Is it paleo? It's none of those. It's for Clark.
Yeah. It's Clark's diet.
Clark's diet. And so I've learned for 3.5 years and kept all my numbers great by just diet. I really haven't even exercised the way I probably should. So testament to diet is much stronger than the exercise. Certainly you need the exercise, for whatever you can do, right? And so, yeah, that was it. I mean, so we went on that diet, basically. This was October, and then December 12th, 2019, I had my final test results, and I hit my goal weight that same date and got the test results. My A1C was below 6, it was 5.6 or something like that. And all my numbers went right in line by changing my diet. And so she drew the circle and said, really most of it, 3/4 of it should be vegetables.
Yeah.
Have as many vegetables as you want. And obviously fruit, you gotta be careful with the sugar amount, but to stick to more turkey and seafood.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm the barbecue mortgage guy, so I have to test the batches, but I don't eat a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I've found some great clean diets, that I use, some recipes.
Yeah, you had said what was it, the gluten-free
Yeah,
mac and cheese?
I've got a jalapeno bacon smoked mac and cheese that it's dairy-free, gluten-free.
There you go.
And if you put them side by side, you're probably not gonna notice the difference.
That's awesome.
So that's one way to, for me, right?
For you, yeah. Well, that's really interesting. So, and about so to make those changes, how long were you on that diet then? You had said, so you gave me like the dates.
2 months.
So 2 months?
I did it in 2 months.
That's
I shed
incredible.
45 pounds, hit my numbers within 2 months. I was all in.
45 pounds in 2 months.
It just shed off.
You just started eating properly.
Yeah. Cut out the sugar, cut out the dairy. I cut out meat for a whole week based on that regimen that she had me on. And then after that, it's just on my own.
Yeah. Other than losing weight, obviously, what else have you experienced? Like, how's your energy?
My energy level is off the chain compared to what it was. And it was also moving down here. That was one of the reasons we moved down here, is I had so much more energy. And up there in the snow and the cold, I said, I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah. So when did you move down here then?
July 2020.
2020. Okay.
Yep.
So I haven't been down here
right
for
down
too
the
long.
during the pandemic.
During the pandemic.
We bought it as a second home. My wife said, "You're down here for about a month. You're not going to want to go back up," and she was absolutely correct. So we sold the house about 5 months later up in Salt Lake.
Now I know. Okay, so here's one of the tricks that. What about like your wife? Obviously, she's been supportive of this.
She has.
And I know that can sometimes be the challenge, right? Because like one person, I'm sure I always say like the person listening is going to say, well, I want to make the changes, but I don't know if my significant other is going to be on board for that.
Yeah.
So was it just she was there and said, hey, we've got your health is my concern as well?
Yeah, we had two things going on. The diabetes and then my stroke. I was dealing with my stroke.
Yeah.
Of the realization that it wasn't going to be prior to. And here's how I look at this. I look at this as thank you, Lord, for kicking my butt and not making it worse.
Yeah.
So I do have issues on the left side and it's a balance, but you would not know some issues.
Yeah, you'd never notice.
You'd never know. And then anyway, so yeah, two issues that I was dealing with and she was dealing with. And to your point, she was very supportive. I will say she still has her things that she likes.
Sure.
And I say, just please don't get them around me. I'm really good about not eating them. It's fine. At this point, but I will say she's chosen to eat a healthier, snacks.
Got it.
And so it has helped her.
It's helped her as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the next concern that I oftentimes hear as I hear your journey, because you just jump so deeply in, and I love it. I'm so impressed. But a lot of times people will say, well, life without ice cream, it's not a life worth living. If I can't eat what I want to eat, then what's the point of me even being here? How would you? And again, I know if you're sitting here saying that, I've heard everything. Life without Coke. I've heard that one. Life without ice cream. Life without, you name it, whatever it is. What would maybe be your response to maybe inspire them to say, okay, let's maybe rethink that?
That's a valid statement, because trust me, I was looking at what can I eat?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't have that. I can't have that. And I'm very much a foodie and like to cook, and so I had to find all these alternative recipes. Like, I love clam chowder, and guess what? I found one that I make it out of the cream out of cashew.
Oh, really?
And it's delicious.
Nice.
So I found a lot of alternatives that I can have, and there are some ice cream, and fortunately, we're living in a time where there's a lot more availability of things that I can get dairy-free, sugar-free cream cheese, and a queso that's plant-based. I mean, there's so many great options that you just look for the alternative and what worked for you. You may not be allergic to dairy and can have that, and that's fine. But what I would say is be careful of your eating. Just try to eat as clean as possible. And yes, my wife still orders pizza when the kids are over, and I look at her, I'm like, really?
Right in front of me?
And they're all just down to pizza. And yes, occasionally I will take a slice because, and like if we go to dinner, my wife orders a dessert, which isn't very often, I'll have a little taste.
Yeah.
That way it satisfies me.
Well, and I like to say, and I've in past podcasts, we've talked a little bit about diet. I like to say, to me, it's a little bit about controlling stress levels. Yeah. When you eat a diet that's not good for you, if you know it's not good, the stress, your body responds the same as if it's being chased by a tiger. You get the fight or flight.
Right.
And so I like to say, if you are stressing so much about, I can't eat that, I can't eat this, then oftentimes you're going to shoot yourself in the foot.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, you want to hope that you don't have to have something that's going to be life altering, that will happen to have to, shake you into making some changes. But I like to say, if you're a little slice of pizza or a taste of the dessert,
right,
that's, you don't want to stress out about it.
Correct.
But at the same time, be aware,
be conscious of what you put in your mouth,
and make an effort to discover what Clark, whatever your Justin's diet, Clark's diet, what works best for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is the key right there.
That's awesome. What about maybe any other family members have it? And he may say, now the kids think I'm crazy, but has it affected other family members, friends in any way that have inspired them?
It has. I will say, obviously I didn't drink soda before, and I still don't drink it, obviously. And so the kids have noticed, they come to the house, we have a lot of them, as I mentioned before, and they'll come through their spouses and kids, and we love it. And they're like, there's nothing to eat here. So we have to make sure, like, okay, you're coming. Okay, we got to go get some milk for this one.
Yeah.
Got to get some orange juice for this one. Anyway, so they can be, accommodated. But I will say they have noticed in the last few years that it's like, okay, maybe I should make some changes. And they have. I feel, gratitude that it actually helped them, and they've lost some weights and changed some diet things.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I'm curious to know too. Okay, so you said exercise may not be your strongest suit, but
I used to be a runner.
Okay.
But unfortunately, my knees don't let me do that anymore.
Yeah.
And so I bike.
Okay.
And I get out in the pool. And
so you're still active.
Yeah, still active. And that's one of the reasons we came down here. I had a beautiful nice house with theater room, the whole thing, blah, blah, blah. Traded in for a pool.
Yeah.
And a hot tub. And so we're outside more than ever, which is what we want to be more grounded. And so we get out, we do some hikes. I like the e-bike, it's awesome. The swimming pool, things like that. Unfortunately, running is just not in my cards anymore.
I think for a lot of people that it doesn't work, but But you find ways to be active.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love pickleball, but I can't, it'll just tear up my knees. Very competitive.
I've heard it, in the office. I hear that way too often. My dad's had challenges that way too.
Yeah.
And so he bikes.
Yeah. You just find the alternative.
You find the alternative. Do you feel like because you've made those diet changes, it's changed your, like, has it made you more likely to want to go work out? I mean, I guess you have more energy.
Yeah.
But it's funny how I talk to people and they'll either, well, it's one or the other. They'll say, and again, I've had people, I've interviewed them, they'll say, well, I'm really active, and so it's, consequently, I've changed my diet because I need to support that activity.
Right.
But I hear just the kind of the reverse, where people say, I started eating really clean, and I had more energy, but then I started to say, man, I'm healthier. Like, I want to go do more. I want to go be more active.
Absolutely. And I did pick up yoga.
Oh, awesome.
So I do yoga on a regular basis. We have membership down here. And we used to do yoga just in our living room, just to find someone on YouTube. And so I still do a lot of things, sit-ups, push-ups, things like that.
Yeah.
And then the yoga, which is great breathing techniques and
that's awesome.
Stretching.
Now, also, I have said it, and I need to get better at this on the podcast, because really, I've said my mission, and I talked to Clark about it, is to help people be physically, mentally, and spiritually healthy. And thinking about that triad, and again, I've given Clark no warning, so when you think about that physical, mental, spiritual, is there any other thoughts that you've had like that come into your mind, the physical, mental, spiritual? You brought up yoga, and I think for a lot of people, that connection between like the breathing, that adds an element of kind of both, you're physically doing something, but then mentally, spiritually. Any thoughts in that way that you may, connecting those three?
I think it very much so connects all three of them because, depending on your poses, there's some balance there. And that's a struggle for me because of my stroke.
Yeah.
And, I'm not able to do all the things. And again, I do what I can do. And I think that's the thing. Whatever that individual, whatever you like, you should do it, because you're not going to do what you don't like.
Yeah.
You're just not. And if you like lifting weights, which I did for a number of years with a buddy of mine, we lift quite a bit. I don't lift anymore. I'll do some basic dumbbells and things like that, but that's all I'm good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the yoga is definitely spiritual, and that clarity of space in your mind, and it helps throughout the rest of the day.
I love it. Well, that's awesome. Well, Clark, you've given me a lot. Personally, I would have to say if I had one thing that I needed to clean up a little bit, I think my diet, if I look at like exercise versus diet versus even like sleep, I think is really important.
Yeah.
The list could go on and on. There's so many healthy habits. If I could clean up my diet a little bit, I feel like I could, that would be better for me. So you've given me personally a lot to think about. I'm kind of one of those, I know what I need to eat, but again, I always look at I try not to stress myself out.
Yeah.
And then I run into this is it's confessions of Dr. Traveler, right?
I love it.
I train a lot, and say, for example, I had a half marathon this last weekend, and admittedly, I splurged on my diet a little bit. I'm like, I just ran a half marathon. I'm gonna pig out on something that I don't get to eat all that often, which I don't know, debatably that may be good or bad, but it's just bad. But I need to get better at that, though. Just saying, kind of with what I said, when people say, well, a life without ice cream, a life without Coke isn't a life worth living. And I think what you've discovered and shown me is, no, really, the life is, you'll have so much more life.
Yes.
If you can say, it's a small sacrifice to be able to maybe give up, not entirely, but for the most part, say, I'm not going to partake in that, so that I can really have a much better life and lifestyle. Enjoy my family better.
Absolutely. And this is the way it was pointed to me. She said, you can either pay for it now or you can pay for it later. Either way, you're going to pay.
Yeah.
And so if you pay, buying, better food, organic food, cleaner food, which it does cost a little more.
Sure.
And that's okay, because I know, I haven't had to go back to the doctor since. other than those, some tests. In fact, I just had another test done in March, and all my numbers were fantastic.
That's awesome.
Anyway,
so impressed.
it's a choice every time you put something in your mouth.
That's right. Hey, I'm going to finish with one more, and this is my new question. I've decided, like, when I listen to a podcast, they have, like, the question at the end,
Okay.
You're the first person that I've tried this out on. So if
Awesome.
if it blows up in my face and Clark's face, we'll see. But I think the question that I'm going to, so those who there's a few, I have some feelers out there with other guests. So if they listen to this question's coming. This is probably the one that they can watch out for. Okay, the question is this. We all know none of us are making it out of here alive, right? This is mortality. We want to live the highest quality, and that's my mission, like high quality, live as long as we can. I'm shooting for 121.
Okay.
That's right. But all of us will eventually pass from this life.
Yeah.
Clark, when you pass from this world, what do you want others, maybe specifically your family, your friends, what do you want them to say about you that would make you the happiest for them to say?
I think, in learning that you can do hard things and that it's okay.
Yeah. Clark did hard things.
And it's okay.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Such a good message. Clark, thank you so much.
You bet.
This has been a great visit. Hey, you guys, this guy, the barbecue mortgage guy, he's amazing. And let me know any questions that I can pass on to Clark, because I'll stay connected with him. And anyway, this is Dr. Traveler and Clark Harvey, and we're signing out. See you guys. All right, thanks for listening today. Hey, if you could please go on, like, subscribe, make a comment, go on to all the other social media. Go on to Facebook, Instagram, go on to TikTok, search for Healthology Experts. It really helps us to grow and push this message. And if you gain value from this, then go on and please participate. We try to get to all of the questions or anything that you have, any responses or comments. So go, like, subscribe, do all the stuff that helps us. All right, guys, see ya.